Welcome to another episode of #TalentinTalks, the talent mindset dialogue series brought to you by the Economic Times in collaboration with LinkedIn. I'm Himanshi Tiwari, and today we are zooming in on a sector that's redefining how we see the world, quite literally from above. As drones rise from niche to necessity across defense, delivery, agriculture, and more, it's not just airspace being charted, but an entirely new talent landscape. In this age of tech led transformation, the focus has shifted from job titles to skill sets, from structure to speed, and from roles to readiness. And at the heart of this evolution are companies like ideaForge, a trailblazer in India's unmanned aviation sector. And joining us today is someone steering this very transformation, Sachin Mathur, Human Resource Director at ideaForge. Alongside him is a voice who knows about the pulse of India Inc.'s talent trends, Nivedita Chanana, Regional Head Mumbai at LinkedIn Talent Solutions. Thank you so much, you both, for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's time to sort of now dig deeper into the very mindset that's powering ideaForge's journey from ground to global. So, Nivedita, over to you to lead this fireside chat with Sachin. And as we explore how one of India's most innovative tech firms is building a workforce that's not only future ready, but also future shaping. Over to you, Nivedita.
Thank you, Himanshi, and thank you, Sachin, for being on this fireside chat with me. Like Himanshi said, truly at the cutting edge of innovation, specifically in India. Um, Leading human resources for such a company, what does a talent first mindset or a talent mindset mean in the context of ideaForge?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me for this podcast. I think as ideaForge, as a technology company, we are really wanting to build a technology which is based on first principles of engineering. Uh, the organization has a history, started from IIT Bombay, incubated at the campus. We were very fortunate to have very good mentors, investors, etc., which has helped us to shape what ideaForge is. Today, as ideaForge stands, we are right now looking at three major pillars of people strategy in the organization. Uh, it's called as 3C. We look at capacity, we look at capability, and then we look at culture. So if you really look at it, first of all, drone is a relatively new industry. There is not enough capacity available for us to grow as fast as the industry is growing. So as a responsible industry leader, we do ensure that we build up capacity around it, capacity of human talent in this area. So we run an elaborate apprenticeship program to build up young talent which can actually manufacture drones. We have trained about 1,300 pilots in the country who can fly drones. Uh, Building our own capacity as we expand our portfolio is very important. The second thing is capability. Also, one point on capacity is a relatively new industry. I mean, there are inhibitions, there are doubts that people may have that what happens to industry, a completely new technology. It is not as large as aerospace, or it is not too small as well. So I think there is a curiosity which is there in people to get into this industry, and therefore we're wanting to help people to have that capacity to be here. Second is capability. Uh, Drone has lots and lots of technology involved, which is mechanical designing. There is software which is involved. There's electronics which is, there are communication systems which are there. There are supply chains which are there. So therefore, apart from only having knowledge on the subject may not be good enough. Ability to apply it among these various subsystems and systems is very important. So it is very important to have understanding of great system engineering. And thirdly, the culture is what I want to talk about. Is we need to have a culture where people are able to experiment. It's a new technology. uh, it's not been tested enough in India, and we want to do it indigenously. So therefore, it requires a culture where people are able to experiment, they are able to fail fast, they're able to learn from others, which is happening, which are using such products elsewhere in the world. So curiosity, resilience, adaptability are definitely something that are required for uh, this industry.
Thanks for giving that overview. In fact, just taking off from what you said, looking at LinkedIn data as well, right? As with the advent of Gen AI, the skills that we're seeing increase a lot more are the softer skills, especially the ones that you just spoke about, which is curiosity, resilience, and adaptability. So I'm glad, and the more organizations I speak to, like you, and I hear this more often as well. So thanks for sharing that. But I do want to go back to the capacity bit, and you touched upon it a little bit. As you're trying to build capacity and hire more talent, which is more amenable to your kind of company, how are you building a stronger employer value proposition? And it could be different for campus hires and it could be different for laterals. What is the pitch that you take and how are you thinking about building your employer brand as you're trying to build capacity?
So there are few elements of our brand which are there. First, as said, we are first principles organization. And as a technology organization, we are really talking either making the first in the world or best in the world. Uh, these are the two barometers that we look at. So as an employee value proposition, if you are an engineer who wishes to do it, we become an organization of innovators. Just to let you know, today we have filed for about 87 patents. We have already been granted 49 of them. So it is a testimony of the amount of innovation that people can do within the organization. So that's a very, very important employee value proposition that we give. Apart from this, we uh, give them opportunity to work on something which is path breaking, cutting edge. Uh, our largest customer is Defense Forces, and interestingly, no war will be fought the way the earlier one was done. And therefore, every time we have built up a product, we continuously need to innovate and give a better product which has not been taught in the world. So these challenges are really something that at least our set of people or people who are working with us are really enjoying. Apart from financial well-being, which we ensure that we do by having the most competitive compensation, our ESOP program, uh, we do focus on mental and physical well-being as well. So we do ensure that the culture looks at the holistic well-being of people. We do kind of bring them to the pride of working for the nation. I think that is very core and fundamental to ideaForge, that we want to make indigenous products which are going to be absolutely world class for anybody to use, anybody in the world. So building from India for the world is something which kind of motivates a lot of people who come and work with us, and interesting value proposition for all the people who come with us.
Thanks for sharing that. It was interesting to hear how your CEO is very competitive. And I want to move into that conversation, a talent first mindset. How do your leaders in the business, your executive team, bring that to work every day?
Our mindset has always been to look at people who are very good on first principles, really want to work on engineering and solving problems, which are real world problems that we wish to solve today. Uh, so I think these are two are very, very important thing. We also make sure that we kind of allow people to innovate, ideate, and then build products and services which are there. So there's so many products, services, and features which are built up by our new hires who are able to kind of find thought process environment where people can think. We do encourage people to fail. I think it's okay to fail, not very often, but yeah, we do allow people to fail, fail fast, uh, and also allow them to do what they wish to do. That is very important. In our talent strategy, we do have built in some of the methods of onboarding. So today, when anybody comes from the new industry, he or she requires some extra time because they've not gone through a similar process. They have not been in the industry like this, and we want the best talent of the industry. So if I get the best talent from, say, automotive, I need to give him or her some time because we need to adapt from other industries. This industry, as it grows, it has to learn from what has happened in automotive. It has to learn from what has happened in, say, aviation. So we have a 6 month program that we run for new hires, where we call it as a functional induction. Uh, Apart from it being a technical knowledge transfer and technically adapting them to the organization, it is also a mindset shift at times which is required. Say, for example, some of the industry like aviation, it's okay to get an aircraft out after 7 years. An engine can take 6 years. But today at the drone industry level, the product is quite similar, but at a much smaller scale. So the whole method of how do we kind of work along with them so that they're able to shrink into the smaller timelines. We do have to ensure that we have frameworks in which people can learn, adapt, and then really fly themselves within the organization.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And I'm going to quickly move into the capability part of it that you spoke. In the context of the technological innovations that are happening at such speed, defense is your largest customer. I'm sure that's highly regulated as well. And you have first principles and resilience and adaptability and curiosity as well. How do you ensure that the talent that you hire is upskilled and is learning the new technology, yet is a culture fit to what the organization needs in the context of the fast-paced business that you're in? What does that skill program look like?
That's a very good and a tough question. Uh, because first steps that we take is, first of all, ourself acknowledge that people who are going to come in are going to bring in skills and knowledge which we need. So first of all our development programs which we have for new hires built in uh, a method and a process in which we say, okay, we will learn from what the new person gets into the system. So as the program starts, we have a elaborate functional program, which I said, which starts from the first 30 days. How do we go about understanding the organization? Then there's another 60 days program which we do uh, for where we actually make those people do some amount of work, tweak, try, attempt, fail, etc., which happens. Then after 90 days, we set up a program where people actually decide what they wish to do in next 6 months. So there are, of course, structured job description, but there is a scope in these job descriptions in KRAs for people to innovate and bring in the skills that they bring from outside. Because today, as I said, our industry would need skills, knowledge, processes from other matured industries to ensure that we are able to perform to the best possible standards which are required in the aviation sector. At the campus level, we do work with few campuses, which are our regular ones, in which we do work with the teams who have interest in drones, and some absolutely mind-boggling work is done in campus, which we see and we are also surprised. I mean, why did we not think about it? We do run few challenges which we throw through the young folks in the industry for them to actually solve for it, and we do find great talent coming in through that route as well. And of course, we run an internship program that we have in which we train the people before they become a full-time employee with us. So yes, these are some strategies that we are trying to kind of do Job rotations we do encourage happening because, but there is a dichotomy. I mean, it once somebody learns a skill, it becomes very difficult for those managers to let go. And then similarly, for some of the times, people may not wish to move. But these are the challenges which are classical HR challenges, and we also face them. Uh, so we're trying to navigate through it. That how do we make ourselves very agile? Uh, we are agile, but I think we would love to be slightly more agile than what we are right
No, I think agility is the name of the game in the way you manage talent for sure, because there is no reference point of an industry for you to hire from. My understanding is you're truly hiring skills based, and skills based is a trend that we see overall. So, as you're thinking about a skills based hiring, how are you ensuring that you are looking at those skills and also prepping your workforce for what's going to come in the next 6 to 12 months or 2 years? And why I'm asking this is data that we see show that 70% of the skills required for a job done today are going to change by 2030, which is in another 5 years. Maybe that's even faster for you with the complexity of the industry that you're in. So are you looking into data or analytics or getting feedback from your teams or execs? How does that work?
So, yeah, you're right. I think technology is changing very fast. So, our hiring process, aptitude forms a much larger pie of the person that we are looking for. Uh, we do look at skills because those are mentioned in the CV, the work has been done. So that we do test, but our focus on aptitude is there. We run our own aptitude test, and at most of the levels, at least on technical. So we do face some difficult times when people say, okay, why should I take the test, etc., etc. But we say that's the process that we follow. So at all point in time, our focus is to get the right aptitude. uh, then we look at the right attitude. uh, because as I said, that this is a new industry. uh, People would not exactly repeat what they were doing earlier. So it will require them to adapt. So attitude is the second thing that we look at. Uh, uh, I think very famously these days, it's been said कि skill 19 चलेगा आदमी 20 चाहिए. So we do look at aptitude, whether somebody is able to solve a problem, which is the aptitude skill. Then we look at, do they have the right attitude to do it? And we are also evolving in this thought process. We we are we are not able to reach to consensus all the time. We are zabardast skill, but not there. But I think attitude and aptitude is winning over everything else. So our strategy is very much around how do we get the right aptitude of people and how do we get the right attitude of people walking into the organization.
That takes me to my next question, which was around AI and Gen AI, which is the buzzword everywhere. There are recently on LinkedIn, we also a lot of CEOs have been posting on using AI and Gen AI in your flow of work is essential. It's not optional anymore. What does that mean for ideaForge as a company, as a business?
Yes, I think AI is an important part of our autonomy. Uh, as I said, that we do focus on autonomy, and AI is another facet of bringing autonomy to the workplace and the product and etc. etc. Uh, so we have started adopting. There are a lot of there's some of a product which uses AI very effectively, uh, uh, where the data processing, understanding what is happening on the ground, etc., is done well. So other corporate functions have started using AI. Uh, but I think we have our own restriction. We make defense products, so how much open AI we can get into is something which is critical for us to be evaluating every time we move ahead. But functions which are mostly operational by nature, we do see AI quickly coming into it. It has definitely helped our own ecosystem. It has speeded up the processes. It has improved the productivity in the organization, and some of the areas of our product performance also by AI. And And I think AI is here to stay. We have to continue to navigate that. How do we use it at the safest form of AI in some of the products that we use? So yeah, that's our take on AI.
Adopting or adapting to AI into processes and products. As leading the HR function, what would be your vision of adopting Gen AI into building a talent mindset or making your talent architecture stronger? What's your point of view on that?
Yeah. So as an organization for past 3 quarters, uh, we have brought in about a focus on learning the AI skills within the organization. We've mandated them to be learned by most of the functions and demonstrate that in every quarter. This has really helped us. Initial adoptions were emails coming through Gen AI, but now we do see presentations and some of the word letters or processes which come to us, which we can say, okay, AI is at play. So that's what has started very fast in the organization. People are able to do it. Uh, Agentic AI is still that we are kind of we're kind of figuring out working, and depending on some of the functions have now started putting it on top of their technology stack, whether it's on SAP, in supply chain, in HR. We've started to put it on the stack to get more human intelligence, because now the organization size is 500, multiple technologies, multiple set of education people have. So we have started to put some amount of AI. So agentic AI, we had just started kind of using it, but in general, normal AI tools are now very widely used for multiple functions. Difficult to kind of really say arithmetically tell you that it has improved the productivity, but yeah, uh, a reduced velocity of need to hire is has been a great advantage of AI.
All right. Thanks for sharing that. I want to switch gears quickly to the cultural aspect that you spoke earlier as well. And you just speak a lot about how there's 6 months upskilling program, but you also did speak of the cultural tenets. How do you ensure, and what are the initiatives that you take specifically to ensure the culture is strong as ever? And how do you either measure it or see that building the company? And is there any upskilling or learning that you do around curiosity, resilience, and adaptability?
We do focus on values. Really, values are very precious and important to us. And for any sort of dilemmas, ethical dilemmas, or decision making, we do bring in our values for uh, for people to actually really look at. So our values are really defined the way a drone flies, right? We really look at prepare and take off is one of the value that we have. That how do people prepare and take off? And then next we have fly together, which means how do we all fly together? We have creating impact. Then we have a value and reflection. So we really, how a drone flies is how it becomes easier for people to relate to the values of the organization and build the culture around it. Uh, the culture is also built up through the actions of the leadership, and everybody is trying to make sure that we are able to listen to people what they're saying, learning from each other. Reverse mentoring has become very important element of today's growth as we look at, because generation is if shifting. We are all are acknowledging that, look, the younger people will have brighter ideas which are contextually equally or more relevant than what we can historically think. So I think reverse mentoring is also becoming a very important element of ideaForge as a culture, where we get brightest talent from across at least India at this point in time. Our hiring focus has always been to get the best aptitude people. So we do go to the most of the IITs. close to what, about on a 500 strength, we have very large number of people who come from these IIT. We have now close to 20 people who are PhD. So one is, we are able to kind of get such bright people, and therefore to bring these bright people together and work them together, values are playing a very important role.
Thank you so much for being a part of this chat. I had a great time listening to all the exciting things that ideaForge is doing. So thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I think as ideaForge grows, I'm sure we'll be able to bring in a lot of people, create a lot of employment within the within the country. I think it is very important to us, uh, both as a responsible employer and as a passion with which we all come to office and kind of contribute to the country. So thank you so much, Nivedita, for your time, and Himanshi for listening to our thought processes. I'm sure there are equally bright thought processes available across the world, and we are wanting to learn from all the thought processes.
Thank you so much, Nivedita and Sachin. And what a fascinating conversation this has been. I mean, I was there throughout the conversation listening to both of you, and was truly enriching, because from building a future fit talent pipeline in a highly technical domain, to using analytics for skill visibility, to nurturing a culture of continuous learning, I feel ideaForge's story is a blueprint for every company navigating rapid innovation. And some key takeaways that stood out today for me was, first, building a talent mindset means going beyond hiring. It's about cultivating leadership, resilience, and innovation across the board. Um, Second, a compelling, employer value proposition isn't just about perks. It is about purpose, visibility, and real career stories. And also, finally, in fast evolving sectors like UAV, upskilling isn't optional. It is foundational, perhaps. So thank you so much, both of you. And thank you to our viewers for joining us on this insightful journey. Until next time, keep leading with curiosity.